how do we respond to the people that reject this great blessing upon the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, the birth of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif? How do we respond to them? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah Azza wa Jal has made our enemies a bunch of idiots. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, they cannot respond when we say to them, قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. But when they say, bring proof that your Mahdi was born, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we can bring our tawatur, we can bring our yaqeen, and we can bring our mass transmission. And I'll start with their scholars, because, of course, if we were to quote the tawatur of the Shia books, they're going to say, but no, this is your books. They're not hujjah on us. Well, on the other hand, they'll, as we saw a couple of days ago, they'll try to force their books on us. But for us, no double standards. But it's okay. We're not like them. When they do something wrong, like they did, as we saw in the video that was posted on the YouTube channel not long ago, we do not try to follow them in their wrong ways. So we will bring the tawatur from their books. We read in Wafayatul A'yan by Ibn Khulakan in volume 4, page 176. He mentions the Mahdi, ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif. So he mentions his name, Abu al-Qasim, Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Askari, the son of Ali al-Hadi, the grandson of Muhammad al-Jawad, mentioned before, is the 12th of the 12 Imams according to the belief of the Imamiyah. He is famously known as al-Hujjah, whom the Shia claim to be the awaited Mahdi and al-Qaim. He is associated with the concept of the Sardab among them, and they hold numerous beliefs and narratives regarding him, anticipating his emergence from the Sardab at the end of times in Samarra. His birth, now pay attention to this, was he born or was he not? His birth took place on a Friday in the middle of Sha'ban in the year 255 after the Hijrah. When his father passed away, as mentioned earlier, he was only 5 years old. His mother's name was Khamt or Narjis, as some say. The Shia claim that he entered the Sardab at his father and mother's house while his mother looked at him and he never came out to her again. This occurred in the year 256 after the Hijrah when he was 9 years old. As we would say, liklawat, about the Imam entering a Sardab and his mother was looking at him and he never came out to her. We'll address this in just a little bit. What is Mahallu Shahid is that the Imam, was he born? Yes, he was born according to this scholar right here. And when did it happen? It happened on a Friday, the middle of Sha'ban, and Nusuf min Sha'ban, the year 255 after the Hijrah. The second one I want to bring is At-Ta'liqat al-Radiyya على الروضة الندية بقلم al-Bani, and this is his book as a commentary of the book by al-Allama Siddiq Hassan Khan. The second volume, page 151. He mentions the mothers of the blessed Imams, salawatullahi alayhim, as we see there. He says, and the mother of Al-Imam Ali ibn Muhammad, the one titled Al-Hadi and Al-Askari, is a Walad being a slave girl, right? That's just the title they give to slave girls. So her name is Sumana. And the mother of Al-Imam Al-Hasan ibn Ali, the one titled Al-Zaki, Al-Khadas, Al-Askari, is also a Walad, a slave girl. Her name is Sawsan, and the mother of Al-Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hasan, the one titled Al-Hujjah and al-Qaim and al-Mahdi, is a Walad. Her name is Narjis. Let's go ahead and move on to another source because we have many here. We will go ahead and move on to Tarikh al-Islam by al-Dhahibi. Al-Dhahibi says in volume 16, page 113 of his Tarikh al-Islam. The reason we're going to go on to that because I have a list here, but we want to, keep it short and nice, and we also want to quote their bigger scholars. So in Tarikh al-Islam, Wafayat al-Mashahir wal-A'lam by al-Dhahabi, he mentions the biography, a little bit of the biography of Imam al-Askari, salamullahi alayh. He says, Al-Hasan ibn Ali, ibn Muhammad, ibn Ali al-Ridha, ibn Musa, ibn Ja'far al-Sadiq, Abu Muhammad al-Hashimi al-Husayni, is one of the Imams of the Shia who they claim infallibility of. He is also known as Al-Hasan al-Askari due to his residence in Samarra, which is referred to as al-Askar. But this is very popular among the Shia. He is the father of the awaited figure of the Rafida, Walidu Muntadhar al-Rafida, and we'll get into this. He passed away in Samarra on the 8th of Rabi' al-Awwal in the year 260 after the Hijrah, at the age of 29. He was buried next to his father, and his mother was a slave woman. As for his son, Muhammad ibn al-Hasan, listen to this, whom the Rafida claim as al-Qaim, al-Khalaf, and al-Hujjah, he was born in the year 258 after the Hijrah. And some say in the year 259. So this goes to all the Nasiba. هذا العلامة الذهبي. Does he say ولد أم لم يولد? ولد سلام الله عليه. And he lists a date for when the Imam alayhi salam was born. Our bahath is not if this date is wrong or not. But does he say he was born? Yes, he does. And then right after that, he says he lived for 2 years after his father. Then he was executed and his cause of death is unknown. Subhanallah. If the Imam died, that is another bahath. ويطول شرحه. لكن do they know how he died? هل ثبت عندهم? They say they don't know how he died, but he was also executed. Shi, right? Something contradicts the other. They don't know how he died, but he was executed. Make it make sense. One say that he lived for 5 years, one say they lived for 2 years. This shows they agree that yes, he was born. مية بالمية. This is 100%. He was born. Salawatullahi alayhi. لكن هل ثبت موته عليه السلام? Was it confirmed that he died? This is a matter of difference among them because they can't confirm this. There is no khabar saying that he passed away. Only a khabar saying that he disappeared from the eyes of the people. Now, I want to go ahead and move on to where he says here his mother was a concubine and they claim that he remained in concealment in the Sirdab for 450 years and he is the companion of the era. They believe he is alive and possesses knowledge of the past and the future. Even though no one has ever seen him, we ask Allah to establish our minds in faith. بعد. هذا كلام يطول بحثه عن كلام الذهبي هذا. A few more sources. I want to go on to Kitab al-Shajarah Zakiyah by Yunus ibn Abdullah Jamal al-Layl, where he shows us this family tree here in al-Shajarah Zakiyah. And this is a long book about a book of Ansab family trees of the Sada, the descendants of Rasulullah. But as you can see, he mentions a family tree there from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. He says his son is Musa al-Kadhim, whose son is Ali al-Ridha, whose son is Muhammad al-Jawad, whose son is Ali al-Hadi, whose son is al-Hasan al-Askari, and whose son is Muhammad al-Mahdi. Salamullahi alayhi wa ala abaihi al-kiram. The last one that we will read, or the second to last one, forgive me there, is Kitab Samt al-Nujum by al-Asmi, volume 4, page 150. And he mentions again the tarjama of Imam al-Hasan al-Askari, salamullahi alayhi, where he says here, he died in the early days of the caliphate of al-Mu'tamid, poisoned on a Friday 8 days into the month of Rabi'ul Awwal in the year 260 after the Hijrah, and secret and unseen by others. He was buried next to his father, Imam al-Hadi. He left behind his son Muhammad only. And his son is al-Imam Muhammad al-Mahdi, who's the son of Imam al-Hasan al-Askari, Ibn Ali al-Taqi, Ibn Muhammad al-Jawad, Ibn Ali al-Ridha, and he mentions al-Nasab al-Tahir, and then he says, may Allah be pleased with them all. He was born on a Friday in the middle of Sha'ban in the year 255 after the Hijrah, and some say the year 256. His mother's name is mentioned as Sayqal or Sosan or Narjis. And his kunya is Abu al-Qasim. His titles include al-Hujjah, al-Khalaf al-Salih, al-Qaim, al-Muntadhar, Sahib al-Zaman, and al-Mahdi, with the latter being the most well-known. He is described as a young man with a medium build, a handsome face and hair, a prominent nose, and a clear forehead. When his father passed away, he was 5 years old, and the Shia of his followers claimed that he entered the Sirdab, an underground chamber or cellar, at the age of 17 in the year 275, and they await his emergence from the Sirdab at the end time, and there are various beliefs and opinions regarding him, and Allah knows best which of them is true. Now, the last one, and one might say even the most confirmed one, is Kitab al-Usul by Anas al-Qutbi, where he mentions the Imam, salamullahi alayhi, and his blessed nasab all the way back to Abu Talib alayhi salam. He then says he is known by the titles such as al-Hujjah, al-Khalaf al-Salih, al-Qaim, al-Muntadhar, al-Tali, al-Tali, Sahib al-Zaman, and most famously al-Mahdi. He is described as a young man with a tall stature, handsome face, and hair that flows onto his shoulders. And he says he has a prominent nose and a wide forehead. His bab, or his deputy, is Muhammad ibn Uthman. At the time of his passing, he was only 5 years old, meaning the passing of his father. He was born in Samarra on the night of the middle of Sha'ban in the year 255 after the Hijrah. He is the only successor to al-Hasan, and he was acknowledged as such in the later part of his father's life. His mother's name is said to be Narjis. Then he says, some historians have disputed his existence after his father and denied the claim of his Zakiyah al-Askari having a son named Muhammad al-Mahdi. However, and pay attention to this opinion lacks credibility, and it is certain that al-Askari's inheritor is indeed his son, Muhammad al-Mahdi. So this is Mu'asir, a scholar living during our time, and it's to recognize that when it comes to the historians, and they are not of a majority, that say that the Imam salamullahi alayhi was not born, this opinion has no credibility whatsoever. And that the Imam salamullahi alayhi, he had a son and he had an inheritor, and his name is the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and his titles are as such, al-Mahdi being the most famous of them. So all these people that come out and say no historian mentioned that he was born, or al-Hasan al-Askari, he didn't have a aqab, what are they? Are these people actually, they know anything about the ansab of the Aimma salamullahi alayhim? No, they know nothing about them. And this is an anger in their hearts towards the Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim.